Okay. Okay. This wouldn't fit in a conventional research note because I'm scripting for a video. So I have notes on these. The notes that I take on these are scripted for videos. I'm just trying to think of like how I would want to... How would I want to structure or script this? No, I think we can. Okay. What January was it? 2021? 2020? It's 2021, right? Because it's the after year for the election? Yes. Okay. Major conflict, minor conflict, notable events. What is our minor conflict template? This doesn't really work because it's an internal thing, right? I think minor conflict does work, actually. I think it does. I think I would use that for any other like attempted coup thing. I want this... this would need to incorporate more than just this date. But I guess that could be... That would come under the clauses, huh? I'll structure this note as for important things for a video, I guess. That's what we'll do. If we had to outline the major lead-ups to how we got to January 6th. What are we looking at? I think step one would be undermining the electoral process. I think we would have mail-in ballots, accusations of rule changes, did you ever read the January 6th committee report? All like 600, 700 pages. Yeah, a long time ago. I read that whole thing in preparation for the Alex Jones-Greenwald debate. What a waste of time. I'm just kidding. Undermining the electoral process. I want to like very narrowly fixate on Trump and his cronies' roles in everything. So we have we've got undermining the electoral process, we've got mail-in ballots, we've got accusations of rule changes. We have we've got the Trump campaign's court cases. We've got other court cases. This can all go under legal challenges, I think. Legal challenges. We've got Trump campaign's court cases, other court cases. Oh, true. Dominion voting machine rigging. Trump campaign's court cases and other court cases. This is our legal challenge part. We've got Trump calls to state, what are they called? The electoral board leaders? It's like it's their state's, like elections commissioner, or what's the name? What's the title I'm looking for? We've got Trump's calls to state secretaries and governors. How about, we'll just say Trump's calls to states to change votes. We've got knowingly false claims. Giuliani was sued by those two women. I think he settled that case. Okay, Trump's calls to states to change votes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Votes. We'll do the coup memo from Eastman. We'll do conversations with Mike Pence. We'll do pressuring Mike Pence. We'll do pressuring acting AGs. AG. False election claims. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then that brings us to J6. We have the speech at the ellipsis. Is that, I don't know how to pronounce this. Or I don't know how to type this. I think it's this. Speech at the ellipsis. You've got the right at the Capitol. Trump's behavior. Aren't pressuring Pence and the AG part of the Eastman plan? No, the AG thing was a totally separate thing, not part of the Eastman plan. That was just Trump being a corrupt fucking loser. Trump's behavior during the insurrection. Don't forget stop the count. Oh, true, actually. Stop the count. Okay. What is there any other like bonkers shit that we need to throw in that that should be part of like a broad outline? I don't know. I don't know what'll make a final video, but like these are all the events that I want to have like extensive, deep knowledge of. I'm just looking for broad things, not like very specific claims. Advisors and people telling him that he lost. Yeah, that would go under this. The Ray Epps stuff. I don't know if the Ray Epps stuff would go there. On the day of. Well, sure, actually. Ray Epps and embedded intelligence, because they always talk about these two things, actually, yeah. Oh, true. I don't even have the elector thing, yeah. Legit question, was there no FBI there at January 6th? I hear it all the time. I don't actually know. However, the problem is that whenever people want to claim a conspiracy, what they'll always do is they'll say that like informants are at an area. And when they say informants, they're always incredibly vague and they don't tell you what they mean by that. But like an informant could be somebody who's communicated with the FBI a single time, or somebody that's like has worked with them before on something. But when conservatives cite it, they try to make it sound like the informants were keeping the FBI and everybody in the loop at all points in time, and that if this was a pre-planned thing, the informants were telling the FBI, but the FBI allowed it to happen because they wanted it to happen. That's the claim they make, yeah. Jesus. Okay. Okay. True, this doesn't even really hit on my three-prong thing. Fuck, do I need to do this? This is just doing pillar 1. Okay. I think this is a good enough outline. Okay. Jesus. Wait, if I push play on this, is it gonna... I don't even know what... Is it working on the right playlist? Oh, I think it is. Okay. Okay. This isn't a script for the video yet. Okay. This is just background research, so that we have all of our facts and 1 trillion%, like everything in a row, in a line. Okay. Undermining the electoral process. All right. My understanding is that Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure, was saying that elections were going to be rigged, I think even before his election in 2016. Are there videos of this? Donald Trump, let's see. Donald Trump, Iowa caucus rigged.
On a campaign 2016, there's one less candidate in the race for president. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul announcing this morning that he is dropping out. This comes as Donald Trump sends out a series of tweets alleging that Ted Cruz won the Iowa caucuses by committing fraud. CBS 4's Weijia Jiang has more from New Hampshire.
Donald Trump is alleging that Ted Cruz won the Iowa caucus by committing fraud. He tweeted, "Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa, he stole it. That is why all of the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. Bad." In a series of tweets, he said the Cruz campaign put out a release as the caucuses were beginning that said Ben Carson was quitting the race and that voters should go with Cruz. Trump tweeted that a new election should take place or the results should be nullified.
We will utterly.
Cruz held a town hall in Henniker, New Hampshire, Wednesday morning.
The central issue in the 2016 election will be reigniting the promise of America.
As the two frontrunners battle for supporters, Rand Paul announced his race for the White House.
Okay. So in the February of 2016, Donald Trump claimed that Ted Cruz's campaign rigged the Iowa caucus. How was our recording sources on, let's see, Great March of Return? Okay. So just CBS Miami. This was posted on February 3rd, 2016. Accessed on July 18th, 2024. What is this?
There and watch very closely, because I think we're going to win this election. But if it's rigged, like anything else, look, it was rigged, I thought, a little bit for me, and we won in landslides. I think it was rigged against Bernie Sanders with his super, and I think that's wrong. I think that was unfair, frankly, to Mitt Romney. You had areas where had a great convention, and I would probably
open borders, the impact on security and
August 1st, 2016. Okay.
on job creation or crime or any of these other issues. And when you compare the two conventions, how do you analyze it?
Well, I think my speech was very optimistic. I talk about the problems, whether it's police being shot like never before at record numbers. It's horrible when you look at it. I never realized how dangerous that job is. I love the police, and I love law and order. They don't talk about law and order. I mean, they didn't even have an American flag up on the dais, and it was 2 days, and then we started complaining, and all of a sudden they put American flags up there. I think we had a great convention. I think the Republicans did a terrific job. As you know, millions more watched the final night, my speech, than their night. I just think we had a great convention. And,
last question.
You know, you hear all these platitudes. It's ridiculous for the other one. Go ahead.
You said in a speech today you're afraid this election is going to be rigged. Explain.
Yeah. Well, I've been
This is at 7:24.
there and watched.
I feel like that. This timestamp is quicker than that. Hi.
About it for a long time, and I know last time you had
What?
precincts where there were practically nobody voting for the Republican, and I think that's wrong. I think that was unfair,
Probably
frankly, to Mitt Romney.
Big
You had
Spoon?
areas where a lot of people were curious, how is that possible? And I've been hearing about it for a long time, and it's ridiculous for the other one. Go ahead.
You said in a speech today you're afraid this election is going to be rigged. Explain.
Yeah.
Do what? Oh, thank you. Yep.
Well, I've been I've been hearing about it for a long time, and I know last time you had precincts where there were practically nobody voting for the Republican, and I think that's wrong. I think that was unfair, frankly, to Mitt Romney. You had areas where a lot of people were curious, how is that possible?
And for Mitt Romney, so he's referring to the prior election in 2012? That's when he ran, right? McCain was 2008? And on August 1st, 2016, Donald Trump claimed the last election in 2012 was rigged.
And I've been hearing about it for a long time, and I just hope that I hope the Republicans get out there and watch very closely, because I think we're going to win this election. But if it's rigged, like anything else, look, it was rigged, I thought, a little bit for me, and we won in landslides. I think it was rigged against Bernie Sanders with his super delegates nonsense.
Absolutely. Well, we know it was rigged
the
now.
guy
We have
never
the
had
emails.
a chance. And I'm telling you, November 8th, we better be careful, because that election's going to be rigged. And I hope the Republicans are watching closely, or it's going to be taken away from us.
All right, Mr. Trump, thank you.
And claims with certainty that the 2016 election on November 8th is going to be rigged, and that Republicans better be careful. Okay. Fox News. This was on August 1st, 2016. Accessed on July 18th, 2024. Any more statements of Donald Trump saying that the election is going to be rigged, like prior to 2016? Let's see, Econoboy link. Why Trump's talk of a rigged vote is so dangerous. The Republican presidential nominee's claim that the election is being rigged against him represents the most outlandish moment yet in a campaign devoted to dismantling political norms. Oh, how naive we were. Oh boy. Trump might not be the first candidate to feel nefarious forces are moving to keep him from the White House. Presidential elections have occasionally been disputed after votes are counted and have often been marred by accusations of dark instruments of fraud, such as the dead casting votes. But Trump's claim 3 weeks before Election Day, as many voters are already going to the polls, that the race is being deliberately stacked against him by a fearful political establishment flies in the face of historical precedent, and should he lose, it threatens the legitimacy of those left to govern after the most anarchic election in modern history. Remember, we are competing in a rigged election, Trump said at a Wisconsin rally Monday night. They even want to try and rig the election at the polling booths, where so many cities are corrupt and voter fraud is all too common. His accusations alone, experts say, could inflict long-standing damage on the U.S. political system itself by eroding trust in the probity of the electoral process. Can I find his speech here? Trump, Wisconsin, rally, election, rigged. YouTube. No. Can I use like the before 2017? Does this work? Oh. Trump supporters claim stunned CNN anchor. Oh no.
Voting is a privilege in this country, and you need to be legal, not like California, where 3 million illegals voted.
Let's talk about that.
I'm glad.
Let's talk about that.
I brought that up, Allison.
Me too, Paula. So where are you getting your information?
From the media. Where else would we get?
Which media?
Some of it was CNN, I believe. and
CNN said that 3 million illegal people voted
Well,
in
it was coming
California?
all across the media.
My mom says the same stuff. when my mom says CNN and stuff, I've probed this. What she actually means is she's watched like a Facebook compilation of fake news, and they'll have like clips, like little clips from CNN on it, while some guy will be commenting on it about how it's fake. And then that's how they say, oh yeah, actually, I have watched CNN and all these other news outlets, but they haven't actually. They're just in compilations posted on other fake news sources.
Well, of course, CNN didn't do it, then they were being smart this time.
Do you think that 3 million illegal people
I
voted?
believe in California that there were illegals that voted.
How many?
I don't. To tell you the truth, nobody really knows that number.
But do you think 3 dozen or do you think 3 million?
I think there was a good amount because the president told people that they could vote, and it happened in Nashua. We caught some people that they went into Nashua and they said, the president said I can vote, I'm here illegally.
Did you hear President Obama say that illegal people could vote?
Yes, I did.
On
I
what?
heard it
this morning.
My mom has made all of these same statements. I did hear them say that. I heard them say that, but they didn't hear it from like that source. They heard it clipped or quoted from another media source every time.
Yes, I did hear it.
Tell me, where?
You can find it, Google it. You can find it on Facebook.
All right, hold on.
Oh, on Facebook. She said it. She gave away the plot.
I don't want to waste any more time, but anyway, I see where it came from, and it's Fox Business Network deceptively edited a clip of Barack Obama to argue that the president encouraged illegal immigrants to vote when in fact he had said nothing of the sort when you go back to the transcript. You, as you sit here today, think that millions of illegal people voted in this country. You believe that there was...
I remember I sat by, this was another conversation that ended in my mom crying. And I was like, okay, hold on, Mom. You think 3 million illegals? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Let's do the math on this. Because my mom doesn't just think the 3 million, she thought they were bussed in to vote. Except this was a different claim. This might have been bussed into Texas to vote. But she thought, I think it was 1 million illegals. I was like, okay, let's assume that 100 people can fit on a bus, right? If 100 people could fit on a bus, that means that there were at least, what would it be? It would be 10,000 buses of illegal immigrants must have been brought somewhere to vote. Where are the videos, Mom? Where are the videos of these thousands of buses full of illegals? Thousands of buses full of illegal immigrants that must have been driven everywhere. Like no bus drivers are reporting this. No gas station saw them all. Like no trucker convoy. Nobody. Like
widespread voting abuse.
I think there was in some states.
In the millions of people.
California allows it. People
they do not allow illegal. You mean voter fraud? California allows.
I believe there is voter fraud in this country.
Okay, this isn't really, I'm just looking for Trump making these claims.
Remember, we're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election, folks, okay? The media is an extension of the Clinton campaign, as WikiLeaks has proven. And they don't talk about WikiLeaks. They just keep talking
There's that Russia shit. Which is what WikiLeaks is, by the way.
about Trump.
Or at least the DNC hack and everything.
Trump. They want to put nice, sexy headlines up, even though nothing happened, nothing took place, even though it's a total fabrication. They even want to try to rig the election at the polling booths. And believe me, there's a lot going on. Do you ever hear these people? They say there's nothing going on. People that have died 10 years ago are still voting. Illegal immigrants are voting. I mean, where are the street smarts of some of these politicians?
So wait, what at all?
Polling booths and place, even though it's a total fabrication. They even want to try to rig the election at the polling booths. And believe me, there's a lot going on. Do you ever hear these people? They say there's nothing going on. People that have died 10 years ago are still voting. Illegal immigrants are voting. I mean, where are the street smarts of some of these politicians?
Hold on. This is The Guardian. Published on October 1st? No. 18th, 2016. Accessed July 18th, 2024. Can't let this happen. We should march on Washington and stop this travesty. Wow, Omar Badar. On November 6th, 2012, Donald Trump tweeted, "March on Washington." To protest the election results. How are we doing tweets? At this guy, tweet. Oh, okay. I don't care about Emmys or any of that bullshit. Who's Omar Badar? He's the one pro-Palestinian guy that I've debated a few times. He was the one I debated on Breaking Points. Oh shit, I write dates out a number form here. I should just be doing that. Fuck. Calling his fans to protest the election. On. This tweet is 2012 November, October, September, December? Fuck. September, October, November, December? November's the 11th month, right? November 2012, 11/06.
So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay, solicited is okay. You're soliciting, you're asking, they send it back, you send it back. I did that. If you have an unsolicited, they're sending millions of ballots all over the country. There's fraud. They found them in creeks. They found some with the name Trump, just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket. They're being sent all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing.
September 29th, 2020, Donald Trump claimed that mail-in ballots being sent out preemptively were all fraudulently done by the Democrats, and that Americans were going to see a fraud like they've never seen.
Ballots, everybody all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what?
Oh, this is some of the most damning shit. This, I don't know if Jack Smith ends up throwing it in. This is some of the strongest stuff that points to conspiracy. I know what he's about to say. Because they know that they're disfavored for mail-in ballots. They know that. The Democrats are more likely to do mail-ins and stay at home because of COVID and shit. He's going to say, you're going to see us win on election night, and then when the fraudulent mail-in ballots come in, you're going to see it change. That's why he wanted to stop the vote, by the way. It's because of this, because he knew he was slated to lose on the election on the mail-in ballots.
We won't know. We might not know for months because these ballots are going to be all over. Take a look at what happened in Manhattan. Take a look at what happened in New Jersey. Take a look at what happened in Virginia and other places. They're not losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%. It's a fraud, and it's a shame. And can you imagine where they say you have to have your ballot in by November 10th? November 10th. That means that's 7 days after the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have major states with that.
Sir?
So don't.
September 29th, 2020. What is this? CNBC television. September is the 7th month, right? 2007. Ninth. Accessed on 2024-07-18. Just kidding. 9th month. September 11th. 9/11. Good catch, guys. Sept. Dude, I can never do months. I fucking hate the months. With a fiery fucking passion. Okay. Boom, boom. Control. Okay. Wait. 2020. Oh, accessed. Okay. Wait, this doesn't go here. Fuck. This goes here. Okay.
Tell me about.
Wow, Bean Pod, thanks. Trump has a long-standing history of calling elections rigged if he doesn't like the results. It's been over a week since the polls closed on election day. This is in 2020. In a few days since President-elect Joe Biden was declared the winner of the 2020 presidential race, and still President Donald Trump has not accepted the results of the election. He doubled down on his claims that the year's elections was rigged, mass amounts of voter fraud. There is no truth to the claims there's widespread voter fraud in the election, yet the Trump campaign and the RNC are pursuing a lawsuit. Several states claim there was. Despite their complaints, they have not provided any evidence of fraud or corroborated any of the president's claims. It's not the first time he's made claims about election fraud. Oh, this has some. Okay, so on the election night of 2012, when President Barack Obama was reelected, Trump said the election was a total sham and a travesty.
I experienced a lot of heartache.
Wow, Beanpod, thank you for the 5 additional gifted subs. Jesus. 11:29, 11:33. So this was right after that. A few minutes later, he claimed that America is not a democracy.
Obama, but nobody else does. The Clinton campaign fired back, tweeting, "Delete your account." That's now the single most retweeted message of Hillary Clinton's campaign.
BZ. BZ. When he ran to become the Republican Party nominee in 2016, he attempted to cast doubt on the election process.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Jesus Christ.
Stay with me now.
Check me now. Have fun.
Pinch me now. Come on.
Play me now.
Okay,
Is this just going to be a fucking meme video?
Is that I'm very rich.
Oh, okay.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. We get a question about what's not a wig. Here, come on, Barbara, get over here. There's a real question about the birth certificate.
So wild.
I think this will top any hotel in America and will certainly be at a minimum, by far, the best hotel in Washington.
This is not what I'm looking for. Oh, this is the rigged primaries. January, February, March. What are we? April 16th. On April 16th, 2016, Donald Trump tweeted, wait. The Republican primaries were rigged and boss controlled. Destiny, you do realize that when he says rigged, he's talking about the mainstream controlling most aspects of the media and what the public should see? That's not what he said in any of these other claims. He said that there was voter fraud, but let's find the exact interview that this is even referring to. Let's find it. April 16th, Donald Trump, Fox and Friends. Also, real quick, I'm so sorry. Real quick, fuck you. Fuck you. Because I guarantee you that you've been on fucking Twitter with that one quote where you're like, Hillary Clinton said that he was an illegitimate president, which means that she's saying that Russia absolutely changed the votes at the behest of Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. You're willing to read so much into one statement, two words by like a Democrat, but you're like, well, when Donald Trump says that the election was rigged, what he actually means, fuck you. Eat shit. Okay, sorry. Can I find this Fox and Friends episode on April 16th, 2016? Yes, spelled it incorrectly. Before 2021? 1 year ago, fuck. Is this not correct? That's not how you do this? Oh, it had to be lowercase? Seriously? This is in 2016, so let's do before 2018. April 16th, 2016. Fox and Friends. Where is it? Why does this not show the date sometimes? The fuck? Wait, fuck. It did.
Joining us now.
Oh, April 16th, 2016.
Joining us now is Donald Trump, the Republican presidential frontrunner. Good morning, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
It's good to have you. You've been out there complaining about the delegate system, and I wonder, is this a short-term political play where you're trying to get your voters out in some of these final key primaries?
Oh, and we were still under the delusion. Oh, maybe he's just doing this like part of his rhetoric. He doesn't actually believe it. He's just trying to like mobilize his voters.
Is this a more long-term play where if you don't get the delegates at the convention, you're trying to stir up a real revolt here?
Well, really, it's not a play at all. I'm winning by a lot. I have millions more votes than Cruz, and now Cruz is in third place, as you see. He's fading fast, and he doesn't really like that. He can't handle that too well, actually. But, millions more votes, and I also have many more delegates. But it's a rigged system. I see it. I'm a smart guy. I'm a business guy, and nobody ever really understood the system until I brought it out. And it's a rigged system. When you look at Wyoming, when you look at Colorado, the bosses are picking the people. Wyoming actually said they're doing it in order to save some costs because they didn't want to go to an election with the people. They said that yesterday, and I said, wow, that's something. And the other thing is I'm funding my own campaign, so I'm putting up my own money. So people would say, why don't you go out? I said, because I'm not going to go out and waste a lot of money. And I've spent less money than almost anybody else. And
I don't even know. I'm pretty sure that like every single rule thing that he alludes to here is like not true. You've got Priebus who tweets, the rules were set last year, nothing mysterious, nothing new. The rules have not changed. The rules are the same. Nothing is different. So every time he says that like there's like a change, I don't think any of this is even true.
Placed by a lot. And, that's maybe the kind of president you want to have, frankly, if you want to know the truth. But I don't want to waste money going to Wyoming, sending Cruz over there for months and months and months, knowing you can't get because you're not going to beat the bosses. But I've beaten the bosses, and I'm beating them. One instance is in Illinois. The Ricketts family, they own the Chicago Cubs. I'm no longer a Cubs fan, by the way, because I think they're terrible. But the Ricketts family is spending a fortune on...
Wait, so since the beginning he is saying everything is rigged? Yes, Donald Trump has accused every election of being rigged for like 10 years. But the important thing to notice about that is he's been saying it before there's any before he's gotten any evidence of anything. He said that his election was going to be rigged before the election even happened. He's always said this. He's been saying this for over a decade. Yes, it's important for people to realize this. That's why I'm just collecting a lot of like quotes, okay?
Fighting me. I never even met these people, and yet I won Illinois. Now, they spent a fortune fighting me in Illinois, and I beat them in Illinois, and they own the Chicago Cubs. So good luck to the Chicago Cubs.
And Mr. Trump, you said that no one was really talking about this delegate process until you started shining a light on it, which you're probably right about that. Although the RNC chairman, Reince Priebus, is taking umbrage with that. He says, look, we've known about this for a long time. Listen to him and Senator Cruz on this issue.
I got to say, it ain't rocket science. If anyone is running an effective and competent presidential campaign, they ought to be able to figure out how to actually go and win an election.
These are the same rules that have been around for 160 years. So the problem is obviously most people never really cared about our rules and how...
Oh, back when Fox News would actually push back on Donald Trump because he wasn't the anointed king of the Republican Party yet. Wow. Where is this? Where did this reporting go? Where is this at? Where is this Fox News? What happened?
They ought to be able to figure out how to actually go and win an election.
These are the same rules that have been around for 160 years. So the problem is obviously most people never really cared about our rules and how we nominate someone for our party, and now everyone's paying attention.
Now everyone's paying attention. What do you say to that, Mr.
Well,
Trump?
let's start with lying Ted Cruz, because, he lies more than any human being that I've seen in a long time. And there's an example. He talks about the campaign. Well, I'm beating him badly. I'm spending much less money. He's spending special interest money and his lobbyist money because his lobbyists tell him what to do and when to do it. I spend my own money, and yet I'm way ahead of him, millions of votes ahead of him in the primaries. Millions. I mean, I'm not talking about like 2 votes. Millions of votes ahead, and I'm beating him by hundreds of delegates. And yet, I tell you, the system is rigged because they don't want me to be there because I understand, and, I just understand how it works, and they don't like it.
Even when he's winning, it's rigged. What does that even mean? What are we even talking about?
I understand. They don't like it. I don't want their money, and it bothers them because they won't have influence, and we can do what's right for the American people.
Does this mean
when you look at, excuse me, when you look at Ted Cruz, that's the way it is. He talks about the election. I mean, the guy is losing badly. He can't even win unless he gets to a second ballot.
Let me get a, hold on one second. My, no, hold on. About starch for the first time. How much starch are you supposed to spray on your clothes? I didn't look up like how to use this. Just to spray some. Do you turn the steamer off when you starch it, or do you just like do you starch it and then also use a lot of steam and then? I need to look up. I'll look up a guide to this later.
But does this mean that the truce that seemed to have been there with the RNC, with you speaking out and Reince Priebus speaking out, is that truce dead, and are you thinking about an independent run again?
Well, it's not a question of truce. It's really a question of fairness to the people. The voters aren't voting. You take Colorado, you take Wyoming. They're not. You saw what happened yesterday in Colorado. They had a massive rally of people, and frankly, if it didn't rain out, voters aren't voting.
Can you elaborate on why you lean so hard on U.S. democracy when we are a republic with few democratic systems? What the fuck are you talking about? Almost every single part of our government is an elected official, and almost every single appointed person in government is appointed by an elected official. What are you talking about? Sock Smith, do you not know what democracy means? Does what democracy means, or?
Take Colorado, you take Wyoming. They're not. You saw what happened yesterday in Colorado. They had a massive rally of people, and frankly, if it didn't rain out, they would have had a tremendous. I mean, it was big anyway, but they would have had tremendous numbers of people, and that's happening in a lot of other places.
It is being mirrored in Wyoming, Mr. Trump. You're right. It is being mirrored in Wyoming. They have 14 delegates up for grabs, and it's Republican powerhouse sites that are going to be picking, according to some. Right. But it is the rules, and it was that way from the beginning. And from the Cruz campaign, from their side, they're saying we put in the face time, we put in the ground game, we put in the effort, over the long haul, and that's the way you win a presidential campaign. If Donald Trump.
What grandpa clothes are you wearing that need starch? Well, for like pants and even for my short sleeve t-shirts or the short sleeve button ups. Also, I think you should iron cotton t-shirts. I think you should. Synthetics, I don't think you have to, but for cottons, I think you should.
Picking, according to some. But it is the rules, and it was that way from the beginning. And from the Cruz campaign, from their side, they're saying we put in the face time, we put in the ground game, we put in the effort, over the long haul, and that's the way you win a presidential campaign. If Donald Trump is a deal maker and doesn't let anything get in his way, why didn't he know the rules and set out the ground game the same way?
Because I don't want to waste millions of dollars going out to Colorado knowing the system is rigged. I don't want to waste millions of dollars going out to Wyoming many months before to wine and dine and to essentially pay off all these people, because a lot of it's a payoff. You understand that. They treat them, they take them to dinner, they get them hotels. I mean, the whole thing's a big payoff. Has nothing to do with democracy. I've understood this for a long time. I've never said anything because, frankly, I wasn't involved in politics other than on the other side. I used to be establishment. But, when you listen to Reince, well, two things. First of all, I kill Ted Cruz when it comes to...
This guy is, kill? Like, he's talking about paying off delegates to make them vote for you. This is like rigged. Not rigged like, wow, they control a lot of the media and they show... No, he's saying rigged. Fuck you.
That's what, I meet them, they take them to dinner, they get them hotels. I mean, the whole thing's a big payoff. Has nothing...
April 16th, 2016. But thanks for having me on that appearance that he references. He goes on to speak about how delegates are just bribed and paid off to vote for certain candidates. But thanks for having me look it up at least. So now if some dipshit brings up that talking point, now I can just say, oh, okay, well, nope. February 3rd, January, February, March. When was this? This is April 16th, 2016. Um, 2016, April 04, 16, accessed on 2024, July 18.
Nothing to do with democracy. I've understood this for a long time. I've never said anything because, frankly, I wasn't involved in politics other than on the other side. I used to be establishment. But, you know, when you listen to Reince, well, two things. First of all, I kill Ted Cruz when it comes to votes. When people vote, that's why he doesn't want to go to votes, because I beat him all the time. He's going to lose to Hillary.
I know what democracy means, but we're a republic beholden to the Constitution. The only reason we have our democratic system is because they are outlined in the Constitution. Okay.
So badly, I'm the only one that's going to beat Hillary Clinton. But Ted Cruz can't beat me when it comes to voting, and that's why I have 22 states, and he has, what does he have, 9 or 10 or something, and, you know, millions of votes ahead. And by the way, you know, despite the rigging of the system, many delegates. Now, as far as Reince is concerned, he said the system hasn't changed. Well, it did change. When I went to Colorado, when I announced in June that the system is one way, after they saw that I was going to win Colorado, in August, they changed the system. And he keeps saying it wasn't changed. But when they saw that I was going to win Colorado, like I did Florida, like I did Arizona, and like I did, you know, many other states, then what they did is they changed the system. It's a crooked deal. It's a rigged system.
I want to get your take on what Ted Cruz slammed you for during the March debate when he was criticizing you for this. Let's take a look at, well, back in March, he was criticizing you during the debate for asking your supporters to raise your hand and say that you would pledge to support Donald Trump. Well, then we just received a campaign pledge that's been released from the Ted Cruz campaign in Wyoming, and I want to read it to you. It says, asking people to pledge their support. I hereby pledge and by signing below promise to support Senator Ted Cruz until I am released by Ed Buchanan of the Wyoming for Cruz presidential campaign. So he was slamming you back in March for the pledge, and now he's got a pledge of his own. What do you say to that?
Well, Clayton, it's the old story. I mean, that's why we call him Lying Ted, because everything's a big lie. He's a politician. I mean, these guys are all talk, no action. He'll never bring jobs back to this country. You look at what he's doing with TPP and what he's doing with devaluation of currencies. He's a disaster for this country. So the fact is, he's Lying Ted. He said, I remember it so well, a month ago when everybody pledged, I'm going to go with Trump. Now he's asking people to sign a pledge. It's ridiculous.
Okay, we got more with Donald Trump in a moment. You heard the Pope recently blasting Donald Trump's plan to build a wall on the Mexican border, and now we just learned the Pope sat down overnight for a one-on-one with Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump back after the break to respond.
Access. Ooh. Do I need more of these? Doesn't matter.